God, it's my ear. Man, you can't.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. Want to wish everybody that was born today or has a birthday today a happy birthday. Very, very happy birthday to you, and many more. And if you're 196 going on 197 today, I want you on the podcast because you're a miracle. Anybody that can pass 80 years old anymore is a miracle. So, anyways, let me get into the gist of things here with the copyright disclaimers and stuff. This channel, Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel, may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contents it falls under the Fair Use Act. The Fair Use Act is the Copyright Act of 1976. Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content, that's any and all content, including the music, to be used for the sole purpose of informing you, the viewing family, of information for educational purposes, criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only. And let's not forget the entertainment value because we all know we're entertaining. For the sole use of this program on Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel. We are a a locally owned and locally funded channel. So any donations is greatly appreciated to keep the equipment up, which is falling apart on me every day. I'm holding things together with my toes and my fingers and spitting bubble gum. But I get out there, by God. We get out there every day practically. All righty. Let's see here. I'm going to go to the comment section after I take that off the screen and say hello to a few people. Good morning, Ozzy, Sue, and Cynthia. Candy, good to see you. I'm doing good. Thank you very much for asking. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. My brother David left everybody else's podcast, Mr. Lester, but I don't see you on mine very much. So it's good to see you, man. Hopefully Melissa's watching too. Anyways, let's see here. Good morning. It's Scott. Yeah, good. We got Scott in the house. Good. All right. Good to see you, Scott. Good to see you, brother. I've had a really, really rough week, everybody. So please bear with me. My talking ability is going to be sounding kind of strained. I'm not doing too good, folks. I didn't even do my podcast last night because I just didn't have the energy to actually do it. And I mean literally the physical energy to even do it. And it does take some physicality and mental ability to get these podcasts out every day that we go on. And with the ability of me talking less because of the pressure on my chest, it feels like the way it feels, so everybody knows, is like every time I talk, if I continue to talk for a duration of time, there's a weight on my chest, like 25 to 30-pound weight that gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And sooner or later, it's like squeezing all the air out of me. So I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of hoping I just go to the other side, to tell you the truth. At this point, everybody, I really am. I mean, I don't, you guys, the extended family, are awesome. Eric's a good brother. David's a good brother. Scott, everybody out there, you're all awesome. And that is the only reason that I do this channel, is for you all. So you all can get together and chat in the chat room. And if you're interested in the information that we put out on the channel, then, it makes for a good conversation, especially on the weekends. So anyways, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it very much. Oh yeah, getting up at 3 a.m. does make it rough. Yeah, I can understand that because I wake up several times a night. So anyways, let me see. We're going to cover quite a bit today, though. I've already talked to Eric about it in the back room, and we're going to start with some of the subject matter I was going to talk about last night. We're not going to get too in depth into it. As far as we go, you guys can in the chat all you want, but I want to know who controls our world. I want the truth. So let's start out with that, because you hear so much about people that are basically living in a matrix or a simulation theory, or we're in a parallel universe. It's not actually ours that we grew up in. We're actually in another universe. We hear all these different reasons for the world being as screwed up as it is, and believe me, it's screwed up big time. I mean, just everybody's thoughts on that. I want to start with that. We have a big problem, and it's a 4-letter word. And no, it's not the 4-letter word you're thinking about, Eric. It is the 4-letter word called CERN. Did CERN screw us up somehow? Did they? I mean, they could have. They possibly could have screwed up our world, our existence, to the point we don't even know. whether we're alive or dead. Think about that for a second. Just try to fathom that. We got weird stuff every day going on. How about the aliens in Miami? Okay. How about the UFOs over the Miami area constantly? How about the loud booms that we hear? Is that just our government going in the underground tunnels? Because you literally hear it in the sky and you feel it in the ground. It's above and below. As above, so below. I don't know. What kind of a life do we live, guys? Where are we living our existence? That's what I want to know. So let's start with that, and we'll go from there. And I'm going to pick Eric's brain and see what he thinks about the subject. What kind of world we live in. Here we go. There you go. Now you can see me. Like my hat. I know I'm going to offend somebody. I know it. I know I'm going to, but you know who I'm going to vote for. Okay. So, yeah, let's go, Brandon.
It's so funny that I wore this shirt this morning, and the first thing I see on you is the Trump. I'm like, heck yeah. And the fact that everybody's trying to mute everything he talks about.
Hey, guys, give me a Tracy second. Got this for me, and I think it's great,
Yeah. I got to shut my door. These kids are making such a racket.
Yeah. Let's, okay, go ahead. Hey, the way it goes when you have family, you do a podcast. So I know if David and Melissa had a podcast, the shepherd would be getting in there all the time, taking up the camera time. You know that. So anyways, I want to show everybody, like I already showed Eric, the army jacket that I always wear, the camouflage jacket. In the top lapel pocket above the right side of my chest, veterans in the chat room know how big that pocket can be because it's got the pleats in it. Okay, so you could have like a pocket that sticks out this far from your chest. So anyways, I said, you know what, this jacket's getting kind of heavy, so I started emptying the pockets. I emptied that first pocket. Okay, this is what I pulled out, the first part. Okay, it's supposed to be a little neck knife. Then I pulled out this. It's supposed to be a spear fishing or a frog hunting. And of course, you can't go out in the woods at night without a flashlight. Now, mind you, this is all stuff that came out of my lapel pocket. Okay. Then I have a spoon in there that's actually thinking that it's a fork. But oh no, it's not just a spoon and a fork. It's a knife. So, yeah. Then I get into a lot more. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I put it all in a box, too, so I could show you all. Nice little whistle. Got a lighter. Paracord. Vaseline and cotton balls. Those survivalists out there and preppers know what this stuff is for. And then, of course, my 1 pound medicine bag. All that was in my lapel pocket. Look at this. All that was in that pocket. That's a lot of weight. Anyways, I thought I'd show everybody that so they'd get a kick out of it. Let's get into the thick of it, Eric. We are going to start off, like I said, with questioning what kind of world we live in. And I would really, really like to find out everybody's opinion. Even Ozzy, Sue, Rhonda, Scott, David, Melissa, anybody that's out there, Tracy, everybody, Stuart, good to see you, brother. I would love to know everybody's opinion of what kind of world we live in. Is it a simulation? Is it a matrix? Is it a parallel universe that we've shifted to? Are we living our death? Did CERN actually blow us up back in 2012? You know, are we all dead? I mean, it's just there's so many theories out there. You know, another one is we're living in purgatory now. I never really thought about that. Another one was, oh, we're just like lab rats. We're stuck in a petri dish, and these big, humongous, galactic-sized aliens are poking at us and prodding at us and making us, think all things are weird and everything, and use this for a science experiment. I want to know everybody's opinion about that. Okay, I really do. So, Eric, you want to lead with that?
Yeah, I'm more of described that we're probably clashing with another parallel universe is very similar to ours. I mean, look at all the doppelganger stuff that's happening out there. There's a few times I could have swore that I've seen my doppelganger. I know I've talked to a good friend of mine, and when I talked to him later that day, he's like, "Dude, I never saw you. I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. So what are you talking about? I literally just talked to you this morning." I mean, that stuff has happened, man. And it is weird how a lot of this ramped up after CERN fired up their engines. I mean, it really has. I mean, think about the medulla effect. We remember Star Wars a different way than we remember it now. There's serials, there's cartoons, there's this, there's that. There's so much stuff out there. Our generation members it one way, but the next generation members it a different way. Could it be two parallel dimensions merging together in one band in this time stream? It absolutely could be. Do I know? No, it's just my theory. It's hard to say until these jagheads come out and actually say it, which I seriously doubt they're going to do. I don't know if we'll ever know the exact truth to it. We're getting a lot more stuff out there, and it's
right.
Look at what I find funny. Like we talked about a couple of weekends ago before I had to work at all these snow days. I told you that they're already talking about a fake alien invasion when we were talking about the Miami thing. Another thing to take into consideration is too, and I don't know, this don't really, to me, and this is just my opinion, doesn't apply to the theory of this, but I know a lot of people are putting it in there, and that's look what was coming out that are trying to nail Trump for with the Epstein Island list, who wasn't on there and who all was, and all of a sudden now you got this Miami deal. Me personally looking at that looked AI to me.
Let's not to interrupt you though, Eric, but let's take a look at the whole Epstein Island thing, okay? Because they're finding tunnel systems in New York City under Jewish community places where they hold events. And I know for fact, and I am not anti-Semitic. I'm American Indian, for God's sake, so I'm not, a racist at all. But they're finding these tunnels and stuff. And tunnels are pretty prevalent in the Middle East. We know that from being in the military, having to blow them up and go through them and just clear them out. I mean, just all kinds of things. So besides that point, okay, putting all the military stuff aside, and the tunneling systems and stuff, they're finding these systems underneath synagogues, going to residences, going to certain meeting places, with no real explanation as to why they're finding these tunnel systems. Okay, what does I know, and that's just to me it's just odd. There's my brother Juno. Good to see you, brother. There's so much going on in this world right now that we really cannot explain. I've been doing this paranormal thing for over 40 years. 40 years. I've done hundreds, if not thousands, of ghost hunting, and other UFO events. I've investigated cryptid creatures, Bigfoot, Dogman, even the reptilians. I've done it all in 40 years, you know, and I'm getting to the point right now where I'm a little too old to get out there and move around too much in the woods anymore. So I'm expecting the younger folk or the guys out there that have had the energy to get out there and take it over from us and in a good manner. But yeah, 500,000. Now figure this. Okay. We have every year in the United States, we have 500,000 missing people. 500,000. We're talking 500,000 people end up missing. Where do they end up missing? In national parks and state parks.
And off
Why?
the city streets.
500,000. 500,000. We got 72,000 veterans every year that commit suicide. 72,000. You know, I mean,
yeah.
What is this world that we live in? Is it hell? Because it sure sounds like hell to me when you talk about things like that. You know?
Yeah, and look what the government and certain media outlets and everything else is doing. I mean, your video games, your TV shows, your movies, your social media, news, all of that is putting crap in your head to commit suicide, to commit divorce, to not keep a nuclear family, to not do a lot of stuff, to make you believe in one thing and not the other. You know, it says in the Bible, if you want to go biblical, that the end days, good or evil will become good and good will become evil. We're watching that firsthand right now with everything going on. Every single day, something evil's become good and something good's become evil. It's a nonstop deal. Now, I am not religious by any means,
Right.
not at all. I'm not going to hide that fact. Am I spiritual? Yes. Do I believe in a higher deity? Yes. Am I religious? No. Religion has corrupted and destroyed civilizations throughout history and used that for the basis of doing it. Yeah. And I can't subscribe to it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just not that way. You know, I'm a mud. I will tell anybody I'm a Heinz 57 mud. You know, I'm Cherokee, Comanche, Lakota, German, Irish, English, Scottish, Norwegian. My primary bloodline is Norwegian. We hail from Ragnar Lothbrok through Ivar the Boneless. On the Scottish side, we are a part of the Wallace clan. My Comanche cousin was the last Comanche to ever surrender. The John Wayne movie, The Searchers, was made off of my family. The thing was, she did not want to be rescued, and she did not survive. She died a few weeks after being rescued. She did not want to leave her husband. Her husband was the last Comanche chief to ever surrender. I mean, I have a history that runs through my bloodline, and I love it. I love history. History is my favorite thing, you know, and I'm a firm believer. Learn your history so you don't repeat it. The problem is we always repeat our history, even though we learn it. It's interesting, but you go out there. Do I believe in aliens,
right.
y'all?
Now,
Yeah, I do.
now,
Mhm.
yeah. Aliens. I mean, that's a whole nother. You open up that can of worms too, there, because the alien thing is such a precedence right now to examine, because we've got threats of secret ambitions that our military and government have. The military industrial complex has, not most of our government, but just the military end of it has plans on Project Blue Beam. Okay. So, you know, and we all know Project Blue Beam, fake alien invasion, you know, that. And then you see the things happening in Miami, you know, that are reported, and the things over Stevensville, Texas, that's reported. And ironically, the Bush family ranch is there too.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, you know, you have all these weird things going on. You know, it's amazing. It's absolutely it's a screwy world as it is.
It is. You know, I know we are being brought to the light right now of what's been going behind our backs in the darkness. I know all that is coming to light. So we're now seeing what has been going on for generations behind our back in the darkness. We're starting to see it nowadays. Now, the reason why they're not coming fully out with it is because aspect they can't handle that. We actually have a galactic federation space force going on, been going on for a long ass time. We've got treaties with other alien races, and we've had that. Star Trek is not that far fetched, folks. I'm sorry, it ain't. I mean, why do you think the Mr. T there made Space Force? We're slowly being shown what has been going on. Now it's up to you to determine if you can mentally withstand it or not. I mean, it really is, folks. This stuff's real. I've seen too much stuff in my lifetime to say there's not an alien race out there. Did the great creator, the great grandfather, great mystery, the however you want to call him, the all father, whatever it is that you want to call your supreme being, did he create just us? Heck no, he didn't. We are just a byproduct of something else he created. And I mean, that's just on the alien aspect. That ain't on the other stuff, like the interdimensional stuff we was talking about just a few minutes ago. It is not far-fetched to believe that, but it has to be you that wants to believe it. I can't make you believe this. I can't make you see this. I can give you the kernels of truth. It is up to you to plant that kernel of truth and watch it grow, to do the physical work, exactly. Sow your seed and reap the reward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I think the same way too as you, Eric, but there's still got to be something more than what you and I have exposed ourselves to and have seen, especially being in the military, having access to the special access, programs, and like Eric said, there's always a program that our military industrial complex has in mind. They are never stagnant or stale in their ways of thinking. No. There's always something going on behind the scenes. Now, is CERN in the pocket of our military? And maybe they did screw it up. And, people like me who are super hypersensitive, being Native American, and having near-death experiences like yourself, Eric, we're just more susceptible to seeing these things, to reading the timelines, to feeling the changes and the shifts into our world. It's almost like well, here, take for instance this, okay? When I was growing up, okay, on our property there, we had an artesian well, okay? Now, for the longest time, my dad, he was an older father figure. He was like 50 years old when I was born, okay? World War II veteran, Purple Heart II veteran, multiple Purple Hearts. And I think I was like 10, maybe 9 or 10 years old, and the pump in the artesian well quit working. And we had it hooked to the side of the well housing with a bolt going in, like a lag bolt going in, and the chain and the rope hooked to that. Right? With a clasp, the old kind you had to unlock with turning it like a bolt and a nut. Anyways, he lowers me down in there, puts a rope around me, okay, underneath my arms, lowers me down into this well, okay. My dad was a badass. He was. If you want to talk about G.I. Joe, that was my dad, man. He was a badass. Anyways, he lowers me down in there so I can get to the rope and the chain, and I my legs are in up to my waist in the water. Okay. Of the well. And I'm pulling the chain and the rope up like this, okay? Wow, that was weird. My computer just went black. Something grabbed the legs at my ankles of me and yanked me under the water, pulled me down in the water. My dad, next thing I know, my dad grabs me by the back of my shirt and he's pulling me up, and I'm looking down, and I didn't see anything. And yes, it's an artesian well. Anybody knows anything about artesian wells is they're pretty open in the bottom. It's like a big cavern basically. So, what was it? Growing up then, and that was, in the 60s and 70s and 80s, growing up, I realized in the 80s, I realized that there was a lot more to life than what we physically see. When my father used to tell me, use all your senses, every sense you have, use it. Because the more you use every sense you have, the taste, the touch, the smell, the hearing, the visual, the more you use those senses, the more you're going to know. And if you think about it, we haven't really conquered knowing all of our senses to the point where we can sense other things around us. And I'm talking the everyday person. Okay. I'm not talking the sensitive people, but it's just such a weird, screwy thing to see, and have happened to somebody that's 9 or 10 years old. When I was, let's see, I was probably about 6 months after that. I had my first Bigfoot encounter. That I knew. I mean, it was pitch dark. Okay. And we were playing flashlight tag. Anybody that grew up in those days knows what flashlight tag is. Okay.
Heck yeah.
And I'm 10 or 11 years old, running around shooting the flashlight at people, and because we didn't have computers and stuff and game systems back then, called Pong game. Great, by the way, too. You guys would really be bored with it at this time. We're playing flashlight tag. It's about 10 o'clock at night. Just getting ready to go inside. Okay, because it's like 10 o'clock at night, and everybody's getting tired and hungry and all that. How kids are. And anyways, I go running around the side of my dad's shed where he had our mower and motorcycles and stuff in there. And I get plowed over by something. And something literally like football tackled me and pushed me down to the ground. And when I looked up, it was so dark. This mass was darker than the dark in the sky. And I can make out the silhouette of something like the thing behind you, okay, standing above me, looking down at me, okay? And I'd say it was probably about 5 or 6 feet tall. It was a little taller than me. And, I looked at it and I was like, okay, it's a black bear. It's got to be a black bear. That's the first thing I thought of. It's got to be a black bear, because it was summertime. We were playing flashlight tag. It had to have been a black bear coming out of the swamp area. And anyways, it took off running. And it jumped like 12 feet to the first footfall. It took 3 or 4 footfalls like a bipedal person, like a human being. And then it went down on all fours and ran. And I mean, it was gone like that. Okay. So I have gone through some SHIT growing up, and that was just 2 incidences. Okay. Within 6 months, I've had hundreds of incidences on that property, around that property, and in that house. Okay. Now, what it was, I can't say. I think it might have been a juvenile Bigfoot, and he was just wanting to have fun too. That's what I was thinking. Later on, not then. Then I was trying to comprehend that it was a black bear. It had to have been a black bear. I was so freaked out, because it jumped on me, So, anyways, that's why when I had my sighting at 12 years old, riding motorcycles, dirt bikes, and stuff in the field, I didn't react scared or anything when I saw that 9 foot tall Bigfoot standing there with a little one. I wasn't afraid. I didn't have that fear factor because I already had that fear factor. So, maybe a couple years later, that one with the little one was the one that tackled my younger sibling. That's all I could think of, at the time. But and it makes sense to me, because whenever you help out a wounded animal, that animal's going to return that favor. That animal, this morning, you're going to find a dead bird or a mouse or something at the end of your steps going out your front door because that cat wanted to thank you. And that's how our world works. Okay. That's how we interact with the wildlife. Okay. That's why we are the way we are. Okay. With our senses, we have to use every part of our sense. So, that being said, maybe our world was screwed up long before CERN started. Maybe, just maybe, they had this technology a lot longer than what they're admitting to. That's my point, because all the experiences I've had, even though I'm sensitive, and I can feel things and hear things and see things, other dimensions, other timelines. I mean, I can see it all. It's like a radio receiver, I just have to dial it in, figure out what frequency, and it is all about frequencies to see them. Frequencies and vibrations. That's all it is, because we're all just energy, 70% water, and the rest is pure energy. So, did CERN exist earlier in the 50s and 40s? Was it, something that the Nazis did during World War II that caused us to become this kind of a world? That's my question. And I really would like to find an answer to it, because somebody did something, whether it was a satanic ceremony, whether it was a portal opening ceremony like CERN, whether it was, a major bomb blowing us up and killing us all in one swoop, and now we're in another existence with our memory from the other world, what happened? So everybody in the chat and Eric, have at it. Try to convince me, because I don't know, man. I'm getting to the point right now where I'm starting to think my weirdness of seeing things and feeling things is normal now. That it's not going to stop. So I don't know, guys. Convince me on your theories on what kind of world we live in, because I really, really want everybody's advice and really want to know.
Like I've said before, we're each, if you want to go on the biblical side of this, we're each born with a gift called the gift of discernment, where we can see things that your normal eye can't see. We can feel things, see things, understand things, hear things that other people can't. We're all born with that gift. Some of us, like you and I, are more attuned to it than the others. We can see the fakeness that's out there. We can see what's hidden in the shadows. We're all born with that gift. If you want to go on the biblical side, like I said, that is a gift from God himself to us. That is our gift of discernment. And y'all can look it up if you want. I mean, it's an amazing thing. That's how I can see demons. That's how I can see spirits. That's how I can see all this other crap, is because of that gift right there, the gift of discernment. I thought it was a curse for a very long time until, Pastor Joe Campbell kind of informed me. He's like, no, it's not a curse. It's a gift. You're just more heightened to it than the rest of everybody is, because you're more accepting to what's open, or more open to what's out there than other people want to. They may say they believe, but they don't actually believe. And in order to tap into that gift, you have to be open to what is out there. You have to go, okay, man, there's more than just us out there. There are demons, there are spirits, there are entities, there's interdimensional stuff. You have to be open to that fact and accept it. If you cannot accept that and be open to that, you'll never open up that gift and you'll never see and feel it. As far as concern goes, I am, like I said before, the theory that two dimensions that were very similar had collided together. And now we're getting the residue from that. Do I believe those dimensions can separate and things go back to normal? I believe that is the case. I don't know for sure because we're all dummified to what's happening. And to try to research it and do it, you're not going to find it on this freaking interweb no more. Unlike you used to be able to do, they hide all that stuff because they want to keep us dumb to what's happening. And that's why we're on here, folks, is to help people wake up and do your research and see and get out there and find out. But I subscribe to the theory that we can fix this, but it has to be us that fixes it. We can't. I'm a Trump guy myself. Don't get me wrong. The man is great. Do I think the great creator sent him down here to fix all the crap that's going on? Yes. He's one man. We have to be there to help. We, the people, have to be there to help. And it's not just America, it's across the world, folks. We're all one beings. We're all brothers and sisters in this world. You know, we have to come together and we have to stand up. We have to open our eyes.
Well, let me ask. Yeah, let me ask. Yeah, let me ask everybody this in the chat. You know, because and you, Eric, and Dennis, since you're on there too, good to see you, brother. Hope everything's well. I would really like everybody's thoughts on this part too, because like you just said, Eric, we are all one tribe. We're all one nation. We're all human beings, 2 legs, 2 arms, a head. Some of us have a brain, but others don't. But that beside the point, we're all the same. We bleed the same color. Okay. Why not have open borders? Why do we have countries? Why do we have walls? Why do we have this business and say that they're acting wrong when it's their business, not ours? I mean, I had that question when I was in the military too, because of some of the, the SHIT stuff that they told us to do. Questions me on whether I'll be going to heaven. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
When you shoot people and all that, and you blow up things, you tend to not think you're going to be going to heaven. So, anyways, that's a whole nother story. PTSD.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just the whole concept of mankind being one tribe, one nation, that's a good concept. I like that, because when I look at somebody, I don't see a religion. Okay. I don't see a color. Okay. I see a soul. I see their essence. Okay. I can almost like look. Okay. And stronger every time I go to sleep and wake up. It's getting stronger and stronger, the abilities and stuff. And I'm just, I don't know what CERN did. I don't know what our military industrial complex did. I don't know what the Nazis did during World War II, as far as, could they have destroyed our world and we gone to a parallel world? Or at least our consciousness has moved on. It's just the fact that there's so many theories on why we're seeing things, why we're seeing all these UFOs and aliens, why we're seeing all the ghosts and the shadow figures, and why we're seeing all the cryptids, the Bigfoot, the dog man, the goat man, the Mothman, the lizard man, the reptilians, why we're seeing all the little people, the pugwudgies, you name it, the water babies, why are 500,000 people missing every year in national parks and state parks? Why? 500,000.
And the thing,
That's a lot of people we're missing.
Yeah, and the thing too you got to think about, William, is our ancestors have known this for generations. We got dummified to it. People are just now waking up to see what's going on. But our generation's known it for. I mean, look how many stories, Native American stories there are about ant people, lizard people, giants, Sasquatch, all that that live underground, that use the tunnel systems. That has gone through our ancestors' lives throughout millennium. Yeah, I mean, it's all there. It's been there. We just would get told that don't believe that. That was primitive people and primitive minds. They're not intelligent. If they're not intelligent, how the hell can they cut a damn rock perfectly and move it where our equipment can't even do that nowadays? If they were so primitively speaking, how is that possible? And
Right.
the more people open their eyes, and I love that, dude. That's awesome right there. The more people that open their eyes, the more people are
Well,
seeing. That's what I believe. Huh?
this is something that somebody in our chat made for me from my two most physical sightings of Bigfoot. This was
That's cool.
the one. Yeah, this was the one that actually was playing with the small one up in the tree, about 11 feet up in a tree, and it was standing on the ground. So I know how big this one was. It was over 9 feet tall because it was reaching
That
up
was
into the
daddy.
tree. Okay. This was the first one when we were riding our motorcycles, but I saw it at the side view. And then when it left, it turned towards me and took a couple steps towards me and then went down into the woods. Okay. That was my first real big Bigfoot sighting. Okay. So Dave Lester
It,
is the one that made these for me. They're 3D imaging. And this is the second one. And this one gives me chills because this is exactly what I saw when I was riding my dirt bike again in the middle of nowhere.
wow, that's a
I mean,
bruiser right there.
the
That's a big boy.
size, yeah, the size of that thing. Yeah, this thing was every bit of probably 10 foot tall. It was huge. It was huge. And those, and those kind of sightings, are what, growing up had got me so engrossed in the paranormal and the supernatural, because that opened my eyes to the world being such a vast universe, and how, if we don't use every sense we have, we're losing out on experiencing other things in our world that we're supposed to experience. Why? I don't know. But that's just my theory. We're supposed to experience these things. We're supposed to experience anger. We're supposed to experience hatred. We're supposed to experience sadness. We're supposed to feel a broken heart.
Yeah, we're made with the
Okay.
will,
And a lot of people have a
and
lot of broken
consciousness.
hearts nowadays. And in fact, yeah, my good friends Steve and Shannon, they lost their little boy, to RSV. Um, so it's like there's a lot of sadness. But why? Because we are built in a certain way that we're supposed to experience this, so our Creator can know what it feels like. Because you got to think about us being the extended fingers of the Creator. Okay, we're the children. Okay, and just imagine us connected by a wire, and everything we experience, the Creator experiences and feels because He's learning more. Okay. Think about that for a second. Okay. Just think about that. Everything we experience, the Master that created us, the Lord in the heavens that created us, experiences it and learns from it. And that's why we are meant to be show sorrow and happiness and joy and love, and especially unconditional love, which is the strongest energy in the whole universe. Unconditional love. I've always said that, and I will say that till I'm dead. Okay. unconditional love is the strongest energy. Okay. If anybody has a pet, you know I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Unconditional. You can feed them or not feed them, they'll love you. You can pet them or not pet them, they'll love you. You know, you can bathe them, not bathe them, they'll still love you. Okay. That's the experience we're supposed to have. Okay. And I almost think like, we think back to like what Ozzie Sue said about being in a petri dish. Okay. The petri dish theory is a good theory. Go ahead, Eric.
I'm going
to shut up for a while. I got to
make back on that some more. I ran out. That's what's sad. I don't have a coffee pot right next to me. I was drinking my tactical Squatch coffee this morning. I couldn't help it. Yeah, so I'm back to my tea. But to piggyback us more on that, there. I mean, you think about it. What we call cryptids nowadays is what our ancestors call the elder beings, the elder big brothers. If we were not very similar, how is it that they can steal our women and mate with them and create more? Why is it that the Bigfoot we know of nowadays looks more human?
But isn't that what they say? But hold on a second, Eric. Hold on a second, okay? I believe, matter of fact, but and we all know it's because of reproduction and all that, and from woman comes life. Kind of like the Creator's special gift to us was the woman. So we won't be lonely. We have offspring. We experience more things. But anyways, that being said, so does that make a cryptid different from mankind if they're taking the women? I mean, that's a fallen angel. To me, that's a fallen angel. How about the stories of Zeus? Zeus changing into a swan and embracing a woman, and fondling her and getting her pregnant as a beautiful swan and leaving, and producing an offspring. My point is, if we have beings like that around and everybody sees these shapeshifters and says, oh, it's a skinwalker, it's a skinwalker. Not everything is a skinwalker. Okay. No. I get so frustrated with that. They label everything a skinwalker. It's not a skinwalker. It's like going into a haunted house and saying, this is demonic, that's demonic, that's demonic. No, stop, slow down, put your brakes on, pump your brakes. The whole concept of fallen angels is based on shape-shifting. They can be the most beautiful creature in the world, or they can be your worst nightmare. That's what a shapeshifter does. Okay? That's what a fallen angel is. Think about it. Okay? Just think about it for a minute. All right? A fallen angel. And then their offsprings are demonic. Okay? They are demons. Okay? Which is represented in our culture by gargoyles, which is a part of our reptilian species that's on this planet. Okay? In the shadows. There is so much that we need to just kind of focus on to figure out where our world's going, why our world is what it is, and why all this is happening. And we all know that there's portals up to hell that have been opened. Dennis and I have talked dozens of times in public about that. We all know that. Okay. But what about other theories, other practicalities, experiences, if you know what I mean?
Well, and what I was, go ahead.
To me, it's just a curiosity. No, go ahead. I'm done.
Oh, there you go.
I'm making
Oh,
my
okay.
coffee.
Sorry. My little rat dog disappeared on me, and I was like, where the heck? He wasn't bugging me. What I was getting up to, we're all genetically the same. You have to, I mean, even on the, which goes scientific based on this. A dog cannot make a kitten dog with a cat. They're not genetically matched. In order for
Guess
us
who's
to
in the
breed out
house?
Neanderthal, Tracy, in order for Neanderthal to be bred out, in order for Sasquatch or Jinn or anything like that to be able to, trolls, ogres, Jotnars, giants, anything like that to be able to take a human and mate and make a baby, you have to be genetically similar. You have to be. I mean, there is no other way. We can't go out and get another creature pregnant. We're not genetically the same. So obviously, we are connected in some way. I mean, that's why I subscribe to the theory of when Homo erectus had came about, there was a branch off. Could Sasquatch and Gugwe have went this way while we came and went this way? It's possible, and you think about what they can do and we can do with them. It's possible. You was talking about giving gifts earlier. They give me gifts all the time. I just got two recently. I was given this one day, another one of these one day. This out of the blue popped up out of my yard, out of the blue, just like the first one did. And then I was giving this a few days later. You're going to tell me there's going to be a vertebrae sitting on top of that? That's right outside my back window, folks. They give me gifts like this all the time. We're all connected. We have, we're all part of the same circle of life. We have to realize that until people wake up and see that, it's going to happen. It's people are just going to be dumb to it. But once you connect to that circle and you open your eyes up to things, you're going to see more things than you ever thought possible. I've always said, have I physically ever seen a Bigfoot? To my knowledge, no. But I've seen enough stuff. I've heard enough stuff. I had enough stuff happen that I know they exist. I believe in the old stories, the old ways. And that's something we need to get back to. That's like I was commenting earlier in there. We need to get back to our elders. Listen to our elders more than you listen to your teacher, more than you listen to social media, more than you listen to propaganda. Listen to your elders, folks. And not only that, learn the old ways. Scott, you're right. And I think that's one reason why we can't find human DNA, Scott, is because of the fact that we're so genetically the same. I really do. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why we cannot find DNA for that stuff. But I mean, and so if you look at this, if our dimensions have clashed with another one after concerned openness, and who knows what Hitler and Himmler did during World War II. I mean, they've done some crazy ass crap. But I really didn't notice a difference on a lot of things until concern. I mean, when CERN fired up their engines, that's when even when you read history and look at history, everything was pretty much the same up until that point. That is when crap went haywire. And what's weird is the Mayans had predicted that. The Mayans had predicted that the world will end. Now, it didn't end in the way that people thought. They said that, the gravitational pull will change and we'll fall from the planet. No. I believe what they're talking about is a big catastrophe will happen and things will merge and what we knew will no longer be the same. I think that is what they were talking about, because if you actually sit there and do the research and do the study and look and use your common sense, that's what happened when CERN fired their engines up. Everything we knew changed. And it didn't really change to a point that you're going to recognize it because you're not seeing it. That is cool, David.
Right. Exactly. And that I agree. 100%.
Yeah. And that's what our people thought. I mean, even on my, let's go my north side. Even my north side, you told stories in the winter. Winter was not raiding season. So what did you do there in the winter? You were home telling stories. That's how things are passed down, is through stories. Learn from your elders. Learn from the old ways, and your eyes will open. I'm a firm believer in that.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I
I
agree.
feel you. I feel you, Tracy.
And
I've
the
been
more
doing a lot of that. That's why
the
I
more
got over there.
traditional,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, the more traditional you are in your walk in life, um, the more
wow.
coffee's growling at me. Anyways, the more, yeah, the more you have the ability to interact with our world, the more traditional your walk in life is. Um,
Yeah.
that's just like the closer you are to to God when you go to church every Sunday and Wednesday and whatever, and every event the church has, you're praying constantly and worshiping God, and that's why you feel close to God, and you have that almost feeling of such a joy and a strength and a calm at the same time. Okay, that's the kind of experiences we're supposed to have on every level of whatever happens in our life. And sometimes you know good people get dumped on more than they get blessed. Okay, um, and that's just a thing. That's not anything that the people have done to cause it to make God angry at them. It's not a reason to think that we got changed. Our consciousness got changed to another dimension or another world, universe, um, because of something we did. I don't believe so. I think something happened in 2012. Started doing stuff in 2003 was their first time that they turned that Hadron Collider on. Okay, and in 2003 was the first time. And I think ever since then, we've had we've had things happen, and I think that how either they caused a shift in our universe to a parallel one, to where we have all of this, Mandela effect, like Eric said, and all this other stuff and memories of things being different. Um, Personally, I'm just glad we're not driving on the wrong side of the road like they do in other countries. Thank God for that, because I'd be totally screwed. Um, you know, but when you're dealing with CERN, you're dealing with so much secrecy and just stuff that they're doing in complete secret. But then we have the people, opening up certain things, doorways, portals, you know, like this. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's not an eclipse, folks. That is a portal that has opened up. Okay. This is another picture of it. If I can get it to come up. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. That shows you the size of it. That portal is huge. A freaking mothership would have no problem getting through that portal. Okay.
No.
Neither would a 300 foot tall cryptid, neither would a fallen angel. Think about it. If fallen angels are angelic in nature, then they would need something that big to come into our world, and they would probably do it in an area that's isolated like this picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like they don't notify anybody when something happens with CERN. Okay. My whole point is our world is questionable. We have people. Oh, thank you, Scott, very much, brother. That means the world to me, brother. Thank you very much for your donation. Um, you know, it's just we see the hitting warning signs. We see it in movies and TV. We see it in signs of nature. There's all kinds of warning signs, hidden warning signs. This movie alone showed us so much. The the hidden warning signs. You know, we are in a petri dish. I do believe that. Do we continue to stay in the petri dish? Do we? Do we continue? Do we actually take care and observe our situational awareness, which is big for the military guys out there? You know that, all you vets and all you military men and women. They pound that into us, situational awareness. They pound it into us. You can ask Eric. You know, they literally pound that into us. We need to be on the alert 24/7, 365 days a year. They pound that into you, okay? And now we've got stuff like this that's being found all over the world. Doorway portals. Now, this portal here is over 30 feet tall doorway. 30 feet. That's a big, big person coming through that door. Okay? To be having it that big. And God knows that thing's at least 12 foot wide, if not more. So, you know, I mean, it's amazing, you know, what we have in this world that we don't really know anything about. Okay. Then you got a government agencies that try to cover it up. They're trying to keep all this hidden from us. Why? They want to. It would be so much easier if they would just tell us. Now come out and tell us. Don't show us pictures of a fake globe that shows the same exact clouds in 1978 as it does in 2017. The same exact clouds, which is theoretically impossible to happen. Okay. Don't hide naming no names. Google. You know, I mean, tell us the truth. Why is it so hard for us to breathe? You know, give us something, you know, give us something to tell us that it's okay, that everything's going to be fine. Okay. Everything is going to go back to normal. What is our normal anymore? I don't know. But when we promote the devil in everything we do, and the fallen angels and Nephilim and everything we do, we start to do things a lot differently. Like take this for instance, Eric, the Monster energy drink. Okay, everybody knows this product here. Okay, the Monster energy drinks. Their symbolism of the giant so-called M is not an M for monster. It's 3 nail spikes. Okay. 1, 2, and then 3 in our feet, just like Jesus on the cross. Okay. And how they used to crucify criminals on the cross. Okay. That's what they think of us. That's what they think of us. And they throw it in our face every second of our lives. And only a few of us can recognize it. If everybody woke up from this damn dramatic and endless sleep that they've got everybody under by putting this shit in the skies and in our water, so we would be able to see this clearly, would tell me that we are living in a purgatory world, a world that is controlled solely by the devil and demons. And that maybe, just maybe, the devil and the demons are the ones doing all the shape shifting, causing us to see things. You know, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes that it's impossible for a human ghost, to talk to a human that's alive. The Bible says that. Okay. Um, they say that it's only the demonic that can do that. Now, to me, you see, the Bible is a guide. Okay, it's a guide. Consider it as Rand McAlley road maps. Okay, the big books that we used to have, and we did before we had GPS. We'd have to read maps. Back in the old days, folks. Consider the Bible that it's a guideline. If the Bible says that a ghost cannot communicate to a human being, then, is it true? Is it a demonic that's talking to us on all these ghost adventures and stuff? I don't mean to use that name, ghost adventures, because God knows we know about them. Anyways, all of our experiences are on such a level like this that it almost makes me think that, yes, it is a supernatural entities that are doing this to us to manipulate us, and that's just a theory that I've had. Now, it's been something going on for quite a while. Yeah, for the smart ones. I like that, David. Yeah, I like that a lot. We ought to make that into a t-shirt. Situational awareness for the smart ones. Situational dumbing down for the rest. That would be a great t-shirt. That really would. All right.
If you believe the old stories of our ancestors, they tell you to talk to your ancestors. So if we're talking to our ancestors, I don't believe that our ancestors are demons. I believe that, yes, we can talk to the dead in spirit form, but I also know there are demons. Now, if you read the Bible says that demons can't make you do nothing, neither can Lucifer. He can only whisper in your ear, and it is your choice to do that or not. They cannot force you to do something you don't want to do. If you believe what the Bible says, it says that, Lucifer and a third of the angels rebelled against God for giving human free will. So it's up to you to choose. Right. Now, do I believe there is a lot of demons out there? Well, yes, there is. I don't believe I believe hell's another dimension that is similar to Earth. If you actually read a lot of stuff too, Earth can also be contributed to hell, because when Lucifer fell and became the seven-headed dragon, he fell to the earth, and he sped out curses to God with Lilith on his head. So, I mean, how do you look at that? I'm not a big Bible guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I've read it. I know it. Hey, morning, Ray. I've read the Quran. I've read the Torah. I've read the Bible. I studied a lot of stuff because it always interests me. I like to know how people think and why they think the way they do. Because, like I said earlier, we're all one being. We're all brothers and sisters. Yeah. Do I believe we need a wall right now because of the evil that's out there so we can funnel it and take care of it? Yes. Do I believe at some point in time we need to get rid of it? Yes, I do. I believe that we all should be. There should not be, or we're this. I'm a mutt, man. But I'm American. I mean, but I'm a mutt. Do I live in America? Yes. Do I love America? Did I fight for America? You're absolutely right. I fought for the people of America and for our Constitution, and I will continue to fight because I swore an oath to the Constitution. Exactly. And if you believe in my history, like you was talking about earlier, this is a prime example. When we was talking about Odin himself, even came down and bred with human women. I mean, if you believe the stories of my ancestor Ragnar, he's a descendant of Odin. Some sagas say that, some sagas say this. It's possible. It is very possible.
Yep.
We are one being. We are all the same, no matter what we look like. Be it hairy creature or not so hairy creature. Oh, there we go. Gotta get my fingers right. Or not so hairy creature. We're all one being, y'all. We're all part of the great circle.
Yep.
So, I really don't. I mean, you even read the stories of jinns. Jinns are known to take them. We're all one being. Now, was a jinn more demonic? Some of them, yes. A lot of them are demonic in nature. What is demonic, though? If we're going to go this route, what is the definition of demonic? I know the Bible says demons are the fallen angels. Lucifer thought he was as powerful as God and created demons. Then you got your higher demons, which is the fallen angels, the king demons. Okay, yeah, we got that concept. But what is demon evil, or is demon just the way people are or entities are? That's one thing I've always pondered myself. What is the actual definition, the difference between a demon and non-demon? Good spirits be kind in life and be turned evil and in darkness, probably.
Hey, I want to plug something real quick. Ray and David and Juno, I know we all drink. It's the vanilla bourbon Jim Beam coffee, and believe me, it's phenomenal. For $1.25, you can't beat it. Tracy, my wife, just got me a bunch of this because she knows I can drink it. Because it goes down smooth. But it's a bourbon vanilla flavor. So if anybody's ever had bourbon, it's going to be a sweeter kind of a whiskey taste. But it's really, really good. At Dollar Tree, man. Okay. So, and I mean, I like it a lot.
I definitely need to try that out. I've been drinking Black Rifle coffee. I love
it's from the Dollar Tree.
Yeah. I drink a lot of Black Rifle coffee.
Too. I've got
Black Rifle folders.
Black Rifle here. I've got the tactical Squatch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a lot of it
I love
here
that
too.
Stuff.
Because Miriam Kali bought me a bunch of coffee a year ago, and I still have. I think I have 2 bags of the Black Rifle left. I've got the Squatch tactical one, and I think I've got Blackbeard Black Rifle coffee. Very good coffee too. Phenomenal. But it is a little pricey. So, Stephen Rivas knows because he bought me a bag of it or two.
Yeah. I buy the bundle pack. It's cheaper that way.
Stephen, I don't know if Stephen's in the chat, but I haven't seen him yet in there. But if he is, I want to give him a big thank you and stuff, because I wouldn't be able to make this coffee if it wasn't for him buying me a coffee pot, and getting it to me, shipping it to me. So, thank you, Stephen Rivas, for that. Your family, as far as I goes. And that's the other thing too, there's so many things that people do to help us out, like Scott today donating $10. I mean, that means a lot. That means a lot. And Candy, awesome. At the Dollar Tree. At the Dollar Tree. But that coffee is awesome. And Ray, you would love it, brother. I'm telling you, you would love that coffee. Okay. So, it's called Jim Beam Bourbon Vanilla. And it's only like $1, maybe $1.25 a bag. So it's very cheap.
I'll have to look into that come payday.
But I tried it one day. I just said, I'm going to try this and just see. And It's really good. You open up the bag, and man, it has such a beautiful smell to it. You know, it does. It really smells good. Picture your finest cigar smell ever, or pipe tobacco smell ever. It beats that in scent.
Ooh, that's cool.
But anyways, that's enough about coffee. Um, that's my crutch. That's why Tracy gets me all the coffee I can get because I'm constantly drinking it, and then when I'm not drinking it, something's wrong. Either I can't swallow or I can't breathe. So coffee is
Yeah,
the elixir of life. Yep,
I like it to wake me up
the
and keep me
elixir of
warm. I
life.
drink more. I drink more in the winter than I do the summer. But I get up at 0500 in the morning. I work 10-hour days. So I mean it's a great I gotta quit drinking as many energy drinks. I have a very, very bad weakness to Red Bull, dragon fruit. Um it's like one of my favorite things. I gotta quit. I really do. So I'm back to drinking more coffee again. They got to a point for a long time. I drank coffee for so long, coffee don't even keep me up anymore. So that's when I switched to the energy. Of course, in the military, on deployment, it's rippets. Man, we were fisting rippets like it was freaking cool. I mean, double fisting rippets even. That was the thing we had in the military deployed was rippet energy drinks. That's what actually got me started on energy drinks.
Right,
And I love that stuff. And
right.
then I used to drink Monster, but Monster and me don't for something we just don't collide very well together. It really jacks my
See,
system
I
up. I
just
can't drink Monster. Go ahead.
I just don't like the whole concept of monster. Okay, um, because that tells me it's subliminal suggestion is what it is. It's putting
Yeah.
the the concepts out there that of actually how our world is on their fronting of their product. Okay, and when I came to realize that that wasn't the letter M on Monster, that it was actually three nail spikes, even designed like the old ones, the old world ones that used to curl a little bit. Um,
Yeah, handmade.
that just threw me for a loop. That just threw me for a loop. You know, and then I started looking into it even further, and the company that makes it, their emblem is red and blue. Okay, like the Matrix thing, red
Huh.
and blue. That's what their company has. Give me one
Yeah, I
second to
never.
see if I have that.
No worries. I didn't know that part. I've heard the nails before. I just stopped drinking honestly because it really jacked with my system, and I just don't. I can't do it. It just me and it do not get along. Holy crap!
Yeah.
That
Well,
is
look at
kind of
look at
looks like.
this. Yeah,
Huh.
just look at this right here. Everything on there, the 11 companies and products that we buy. 11. One of them's PepsiCo. PepsiCo, Monster. Okay. PepsiCo symbol, red and blue. Look at this chart. This chart is labeled red and blue only. Think about that.
Hmm.
Is that a suggestion giving us a hint of how our world is operated? Everything's red and blue on this chart, just like the Matrix. Think about it. Coca-Cola is red.
I never.
Unilever, who does a lot of our products and even medicines, they're blue. Kellogg's red. Okay, Mars blue. General Mills blue. Johnson and Johnson red. I mean, think about it. It's like, is this the way they're trying to tell us that things are currently? That we aren't in our world are subject to being ruled by commercialism?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But that just freaks me out when I see that whole blue and red thing. Okay, it really does.
You know what,
It freaks me out because here it is, 2004, and we're on a live with good about humanity, and even StreamYard, everything's blue and red. What kind of suggestions is this? And it's all the time, all the time.
Oh, and I never really thought about it that way. I mean, that's an interesting thing to bring up. I never realized it. I think a lot of these companies started out as something good and then it turns to evil. It seems to be that way with a lot of stuff. The subliminal messages we've been dealing with for years. Look at Disney alone. Disney has so much pedophilia symbolism in it that it's not even funny no more, man. It's very, very weird. It's sad. I mean, you take something good and
Yeah.
you turn
And
it
who
evil,
owns
and it seems
Disney
to be.
anymore? Isn't it Budweiser?
Yeah, I think so. I don't even know. That stuff. Look at Monsanto alone. Monsanto, that's an evil ass organization if there ever was. I will not buy Monsanto stuff. I buy heirloom seeds. I want something that reproduces back. You know, it's just I just can't do it, folks. I mean,
Well,
that stuff
it's
does
in all
not
the
just like
product
me.
we.
Yeah, yeah. Why do you think these young girls are getting big boobs and maturing at us?
Monsanto's is in Kellogg's and General Mills.
Yeah.
It's
freaking
ridiculous.
sad.
It really is.
They're purposely killing us in our lifespan. We are meant to live several hundred years. That is what we are meant to live. Our lifespan is supposed to be several hundred into the 1,000 of years of old age. They're purposely killing us down to do this stuff. And that's why I try to get away.
Right.
For all you jackheads out there, go, why do you need to kill an animal when you go to the store to buy it?
It's ridiculous, though, the amount of.
Go ahead, sorry.
Not everybody can afford to go to the store to buy it either. Not everybody
You're
can
still
afford
killing an animal besides what's
that's
grown
why
on
we
dish.
are allowed. Yeah, exactly. And who wants to trust what they go in laboratories, because you don't know what kind of meat they're giving you. There's rumors of ground up children's teeth being in the sausage patties and the burgers at McDonald's. I mean, how about the one year that one person bought a thing of French fries from a Wendy's restaurant and a finger was in it? Somebody lost their finger and it was in the fries. When the people were eating the fries, they found it. I mean, come on. You just don't lose a finger and send it out the drive-through window. Oh, here, suck my thumb. I mean, it's ridiculous. What kind of world do we live in?
Oh yeah.
So
I
don't know.
It's sad, y'all. I live one with my land. Me and my land are of one being. All my animals, my plants out here, they all have spirits. They all have souls. We are all connected together as one being. We live together in a symbiote environment. We depend on each other. Even on the cryptid side of it, we are all one being and live together in peace and harmony. It has only been one time in my 30 years of living here have I ever been completely scared out of my mind when it come to being in my woods. And that's whatever that was that was following me that other weekend that we talked about. And I believe that was more supernatural than it was anything else that was following me that night, making them mimic sounds of my dog. I'm leaning very much towards that being a supernatural ordeal. Everything we're doing is little by little leads this direction, total control. We win our own take. Yeah, David. I mean, we have to take our life back. We have to take our identity back. We have to take everything back. We are the ones with the power, and we have to do it. If you rely on somebody else, you're just a sheep, man. Quit relying on somebody else. Get out there and take your life back, your identity, take everything back. That is what we are. We are humans. Be a human. You are
Yep,
being very much
exactly.
a pain in the butt today.
Hey, Trace,
You
so
need
you
to-
want to bring Jacob in here?
That's
Let me
my
see if I
mouth.
can get Jacob in here. We'll see if
He's
Jacob can
very mean.
interact.
Oh.
Anyways, I'm sending out some stickers to people in the chat.
Ah,
I'm not going to say who, and it's going to be a surprise.
He was sound asleep.
Aw, hi, babies. Come to Papa, sweetie.
Oh,
I've got you. I've got you.
Oh, look at that little dude.
See? Yeah. This is Jacob.
okay, Bean. I know he was sleeping.
Oh, this is Jacob.
You're not the only one on the interweb.
He's our lover.
That's right.
He's our lover. Yes, he.
He fell asleep after breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell asleep after breakfast.
He fell asleep
Heck
after
yeah.
breakfast. Oh, he's a good old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
this little turd here likes to go everywhere I
Yeah.
go. I can't go nowhere without him.
Take him back. Wait, hold on. Let me get you, baby.
All right. Love you, J-Boo.
He's feeling arthritic, I think, because of the weather.
Okay.
Feeling
Yeah, with all the snow and the dampness,
all right for you.
his arthritis is getting to him because he's going on 13 now, so he's not a puppy anymore. But he's the
Yeah, I don't
greatest.
know how.
If you ever want to be calmed, get a little dog and raise it the way you love it unconditionally. And that little dog is the greatest little thing to have curled up with you and just comfort you, and through sadness, through pain. Tracy gave me a picture of Jacob when I was in the hospital for 8 months with this cancer. And that picture got me through a lot of the radiation treatments and a lot of the chemo treatments. That's what when I talk about unconditional love, that's what I mean. That's the kind of connection we need to have to things and everybody. We need to have that kind of connection. That solid gold connection, spirit to spirit, soul to soul. We all are the same, and we all deserve good things in life. There's no religion, just God. There's no Baptist, there's no Methodist, there's no Buddhist, there's no Hinduism, there's no Muslim, because those things have been devised to separate us even further.
They are, yeah. Give me ready.
We
One
need to be
second,
on a
David wants to see my other
spiritual
boy.
level that is above any religion, above
you in
any
here?
religion that has been created by man, because God
be
is
right back.
not, but that's just the way I think. That's just the way I think. So I don't know.
Where you at, buddy?
I don't know. Uh-oh.
Here, Thor.
She's dry. So we got about another 15 minutes until we're off of here, but I'm going to surprise some people in the chat. Let's see. I'm going to go through right now and pick them. Juno, you're one. Let's see. Ray Landry, you're another. Brother, can you give me your mailing address at my email? I'm going to give you my email in the chat. Okay. 333 at gmail.com. Okay. And everybody that I name, you please email me your mailing address. I'm going to send you out stickers, all kinds of cool stickers, and even a couple patches that are our symbol for our group. Basically,
That's
it
my
has
boys. That's my
the
boys.
American flag
Come here.
and the dog teeth on it. Okay,
Come here.
this is
They
the
want to see you.
symbolism where you and you put it on your folder. Okay, so we're
Ah!
we're doing this to show that when we go to like events and stuff, you know, or people that we're close to or live close to that we can investigate with, that it's just something so everybody knows that, you know, we're family, you know, kind of a subliminal thing, you know, or it's secret, but
Hey,
we're family.
okay. Nice.
Also, stickers are going to come, you know, all kinds of different stickers. And believe me, I've got all kinds. I've got ghost stickers, Mothman stickers, Bigfoot stickers. You know, I've got them all, let me tell you. Okay. So I'll be sending out alien stickers, all kinds of different stuff. Okay. To everybody. But Ray, you're one. Send me your mailing address, please, brother. Okay. I might even throw a bag of that coffee in. Never know. Anyways,
Yeah.
Ray, you're one. Candy, you're another. Candy, if you would give me your mailing address, I'd love to mail you some things. Okay. Let's see. Who else? Ozzy Sue. Yes, you're another one. Please send me your mailing address at my email, okay? And I'll
All
mail
right,
you some
Romeo.
stickers and stuff.
Hey, come on, guys.
And
Quit. Get off of it.
Scott, you're
Come
another.
here.
Please give me your mailing address as Eric's backdrop gets torn up by dogs.
Yeah. Come here, Romeo. Quit. Jealous guys,
Yeah.
man.
Anyway,
I told you, David. I knew what you was talking about.
Then
Thor's
who
just a
else?
little over a
Who
year
else?
old.
Ray.
He's still a pup.
Oh, Juno, brother, you got to give me your address too, so I can send you some more stickers. Okay. Who else? Let me see.
You guys
Yeah,
tore
Candy,
everything
don't
up in
forget
here.
lakotaman333@gmail.com. If you can give me your mailing address, I'll mail you out a bunch of cool stickers and stuff. Okay. Now, you guys give me about 10 days to get these out of the house and in the mail. Okay. To you guys. Okay. So, because I got a lot of stickers to go through. So, but those stickers,
Yeah.
probably most
need to get
everybody in
some
the
made.
chat.
I've been looking at getting some made myself, probably some patches and
So,
some poker chips. I haven't done it yet. I want to get some merch line made for my books, but until I get a little bit more popular, I don't know if it's financially stable enough for me to do that yet. But I have been kicking around doing that myself. Oop, did I lose you, William? Oh, you froze up on me, bud. All right, we'll hang tight until William get back in here. That's some cool stuff. But yeah, I've been looking at doing some. I'll probably be doing some merch stuff myself with my books, with my podcast, The Bizarre and Unknown. I haven't quite decided what I want to do yet. I'll probably just start out with stickers now, but I've even been looking at playing cards. Yeah, I have been. I say, there you
yeah,
go.
you're going to have to. Yeah. Okay.
Ahead,
I'm
brother.
back. I'm back. I faded out there for a second, but I'm back. Anyways, we got to end this. We're at an hour and 40 some minutes now. It's been a long program and I'm losing my voice. But those names that I named off, please send me your mailing address at lakotaman333@gmail.com, and I'll get you some stickers and stuff in the mail. And to show my appreciation, start the new year off right. Let's just love everybody and, be a big family, be there for each other, you know. So whether it's texting or messaging, or talking on the phone or even a video chat, let's just make sure we're there to help out each other. If you got an investigation you need done, please let me know, because I have ways of investigating things that a lot of people don't know about. And I've learned it over my 40 plus years being in the paranormal and supernatural field. Okay. So whether it's UFOs, cryptid creatures, or even, ghosts and stuff,
There's some Mothman ones
let
I
me
got
let
for
me know.
Valentine's.
Okay.
Valentine's Mothman.
Here's some of the Mothman stickers that Tracy just gave me. These are some of the
Yeah,
Mothman
cool.
stickers. So let me see here. I like that one. That one's cool. But yeah, there's all kinds of stickers and stuff. Mothman stickers, ghost stickers, alien stickers, big in there. So okay. So just so we can try. At least we can try. Okay. So as I make my final cup of coffee this morning, which is number 5, and I wish to thank Dunkin' Donuts and 7-Eleven for providing the sugar for my coffee. Anyways, everybody, I want you all to have a great Saturday. Okay. I have loved this whole hour and 45 minutes has been incredible. Everybody in the chat's been awesome, and give me those mailing addresses and we will get those out to you. Give me 10 days minimum, please, to get the stickers all put together and mailed out. Okay. And then you can figure like maybe 3 days, you'll get the stickers through postal service. And they're going to be going first class mail too. So as always, great show, William and Eric. Great subjects covered. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. It's 3:33 a.m. Wow. Ozzy Sue, you're fantastic. Thank you, dear. Everybody, have a wonderful day or night or morning, okay, wherever you're at in the world, and know that you're not alone. We are family, and anybody that needs anything, get a hold of me and message me, text me, or email me at my email, lakotaman333@gmail.com. Okay. Whatever you all need. Okay. Paranormal, cryptid, supernatural, whatever you need, let me know. I will help you. Okay. As best as I can. Everybody have a great show, a great day, a great show in faith. Stand in faith. Okay. And know that you're not alone. Okay. So we will see everybody tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning, we might be coming on the same time. I got it down for 11 a.m. Eastern time, but I might come on about 10:30. It does. I don't know. Okay. So we'll see you all in the morning. Okay. Have a great day, everybody.
Peace and love.
God bless.
Peace and love to everybody.